The hives of Necromunda rise from the ashwood.
The majority of the hive's inhabitants belong to one of the 13 houses, and live in the part of the hive that forms its territory. Hive Primus is divided between the houses as much as the lands of ordinary planets are divided into nations. Every house has its own cultural traditions, distinct linguistic traits, codes of dress and behavior, as well as unique concerns and aptitudes. The 7 most important houses are the noble houses, whose domains extend throughout the spire, the part of the hive that stretches above the cloud-top layer. The noble houses are the controllers of the hive's commerce. They trade far and wide throughout the Imperium and with other hives on Necromunda. The noble houses compete against each other for wealth and political power, always seeking to further their own interests at the expense of their rivals. Intrigue and fear of assassination dominate the lives of the ruling families. The most powerful noble house is the Imperial, or ruling house of Helmar. Its domain is the very top of the spire, the most desirable territory in the whole hive. Lord Helmar, the leader of the house, controls the entire planet. He represents the mighty Adeptus Terra of Earth, the governing body of the Imperium of Man. To the greater universe, Lord Helmar is Necromunda. The planet is his to rule as he pleases. The merchant families of the noble houses vie for his attention, and are eager to perform whatever favours are necessary to secure landing and shipping rights, trade licenses, and tax concessions. Even whilst they curry Lord Helmar's favour, the noble houses scheme behind his back, hoping that one day House Helmar will be brought low, and a new imperial house will inherit its domain. The 7 noble houses of Necromunda are House Helmar, House Catalus, House Tai, House Yulanti, House Grem, House Ranlo, and House Koayan. These houses play no direct part in the fighting and exploration of the Underhive, but their existence is important. Below the adamantium barrier known as the Wall are the domains of the 6 houses of Necromunda. These ordinary houses lack the privileges and statuses of noble houses. Their people are confined to the cramped hive city, where conditions are squalid and dirty. The hivers, as they are known, are used to the dim light and rank air. Knowing no better, most live contented lives of toil in the guild factories, workshops, and other industries which form the chief businesses of the hive. The houses are manufacturers of goods of all kinds, from foodstuffs to armaments. These products are traded with the noble houses, and in this way the wares of Necromunda reach the wider universe. A complex but efficient trading relationship has grown based around the competition between the houses to produce goods, and between the noble houses to buy them. The people of the 6 houses do not normally mix, and borders between their domains are carefully guarded against intruders. Each house is proud of its unique traditions and disdainful of its rival's way of life. Where the territories of 2 houses border each other, it is common to find an interposing dead zone, or some form of area of fortifications. Prolonged warfare between houses is rare, but not unknown. Violence can be triggered by anything from accidental trespass to deliberate invasion. The most common cause of animosity is contract fighting. This happens when a house tries to destroy vital factories in a neighbor's domain in order to make it impossible for them to fulfill a contract. Should this happen, the neighbor will incur heavy penalties and may lose a lucrative contract to a rival house. Open hostility is rare. For one thing, war between two houses would simply further the interests of the other four and do neither antagonist any good. Also, the noble houses strongly disapprove of destructive conflict because it damages trade and hinders the movement of goods. Noble houses may threaten to take their businesses elsewhere rather than tolerate a hive war. Consequently, Hive City is mostly peaceful and industrious, with the majority of its people happy. Consequently, Hive City is mostly peaceful and industrious. The majority of its people are happy to toil for their house and reap the meager rewards on offer. The 6 houses are House Cawdor, House Escher, House Goliath, House Van Saar, House Orlok, and House Delac. As the role and attitudes of the houses is fundamental to the downright fighting of the Underhive, let us peer a little closer. House Orlok is known as the House of Iron due to its foundations lying upon deep, ferrous-like pits. The Hivers mine these pits for the debris of ancient times and extract enough pure metal from the refuse to serve their industries. Over the centuries, extensive mining of the slag has caused some lower domes to collapse. In the past, this has led to hivequakes and the destruction of several overlying domes. For many centuries, the house has fulfilled the Yulanti contract, a lucrative deal by which one house supplies the core requirements of the Yulanti nobles. Previously, the contract was supplied by House Delac, but the Orloks usurped the position by bribing Underhive gang raiders to destroy fuel lines into a Delac guild factory. Since then, the two houses have taken every opportunity to discredit each other. 5 years ago, Lord Hagen Orlok was assassinated by the Delacs, and relations between the houses has never been so tense. The domain of House Goliath is situated unfavourably within Hive City, and occupies some of the deepest and harshest areas. Their extensive heavy industries contribute further to the pollution and heat, so their territory is often filled with toxic smog and dark fumes. By way of compensation, the Goliaths are tough and persistent by inclination. They consider the hivers of the other houses to be soft and slack. In truth, all hivers are naturally robust, being inured to the toxins and deprivations which they accept unquestionably as part of their normal life. The Goliaths, however, take a stubborn pride in their ability to endure hardship. The other houses see the Goliaths as barbaric, unsophisticated, and unpredictable. Goliath institutions, such as the Fighting Pit and the Feast of the Fallen, do nothing to dispel the impression of a violent people inimical to their neighbours. Size and strength are seen as the measure. Their style of dress emphasizes a preoccupation with physique, featuring weighty chains and massive spiked metal bracers. House Escher is perhaps the most strikingly different of all the houses of Necromunda. Like the others, it is controlled by a ruling family, and its political life and institutions are dominated by close relatives or families in service. However, unlike the other houses, which have a reasonably balanced population, that of the Escher is made up entirely of women. The few males are shriveled and imbecilic, perhaps as a result of a genetic flaw within the house bloodline. Whatever the reason, they play no part in the normal affairs of the Escher. Escher society has long since developed to cope with its uniquely imbalanced population, so that it is no longer perceived as a disadvantage. The Escher have a reputation for arrogance, and are said to look down and pity all males. They are particularly dismissive of the Goliaths as simple and brutish, and the two houses are old enemies, with skirmishes along their borders being common. House Van Saar is renowned for the quality of its technical products, its technology being no more advanced than that of anyone else, progress being almost non-existent through the Imperium, but the house's manufacturing processes are precise, and its finished materials are of the highest quality. The noble houses pay a premium for Van Saar goods, and as a result, the house is probably the most wealthy in Hive City. The Van Saar are reputed to be a serious-minded and humorless people with a deeply ingrained sense of order. Like all the houses of Hive City, they have a style of dress which marks them out. In this case, it is the form of a tight-fitting bodysuit designed to protect and sustain the wearer in the hive environment. Semi-permeable membranes in the suit reduce the loss of body moisture, whilst various spots on the material change colour to warn the wearer of airborne toxins and reduced oxygen levels. House de Lac benefits from a special understanding with the Imperial House of Helmar, providing not just materials, but also information to the rulers of Necromunda. De Lac spies are said to operate throughout the hive, observing the activities of the other houses. It is rumoured that some of the ruling family members of the houses, and even some noble houses, are in the pay of the De Lac. Other houses are justifiably suspicious of House de Lac. Their appearance does little to contradict an age-old reputation for double-dealing in espionage. De Lac traditionally wear long coats with internal pockets, in which they can easily conceal weapons and other large items. Most are very pale and bald-headed. Their whispering voices are thin and eerie. Many wear dark visors or implanted filter screens to protect their sensitive eyes, an intolerance of light being a common De Lac weakness. Although the entire hive is dim by normal standards, the territory of House de Lac is particularly dark and shadowy, as befits a people whose motives and methods are shrouded in mystery. House Cawdor is the stronghold of the Cult of the Redemption, whose prophets foretell of universal destruction. Although the cult has its adherents throughout the hive, in House Cawdor it has attained the status of an official religion. For this reason, the house is also known as the House of Redemption. The Cawdor attitude to other houses is strongly coloured by their beliefs. Amongst other things, this forbids them to show their faces in public, so Cawdor can often be recognised by their elaborate masks. The designs of these masks are quite often bizarre or disturbing. The Redemption demands a strict code of conduct, and those who break the rules are driven away, becoming outcasts. Hivers who do not follow